Hi, fourth graders. We are beginning our new module today. And remember, sometimes we start our modules and our lessons are a little bit out of order. So today we are on M3, lesson 5. And we are going to be looking for patterns in multiplying zeros. And so that's our title for today, or we're finding patterns in multiplying with zeros. So when you're ready, and I'm on page 23, again, you write the page that you are ready for. When you are ready, you can head to your note page, and it should look like this. So our objective today says, I can recognize and multiply with the pattern of 10, 100, and 1,000. And so you'll see we have just several different chunks of practice with our multiplying. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this set here first. Now, when I look at this and it says 3 times 10, I know, and I'm going to think to myself, well, that tells me that I have 3 groups of 10. And if I were to have 3 groups of 10, I would have 30. Now, in the same way, and I ask myself, okay, I want to have 3 groups of 100 because I know when I multiply, I am thinking about groups of. So I have 3 groups of 100. That means I would have 300 total in all. I want you to think, fourth graders, if you're starting to notice a pattern. This should be fairly similar to what we've done in measurement when we're multiplying with tens. Think about the trick that we use, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now let's look at this last one. 3 times 1,000. Again, I'm thinking 3 groups of 1,000. That would be 3,000 altogether. So now, fourth graders, I want to show you a little trick. And so I want you to slide over here to this box that's going to tell us our steps. Okay, and it says when you multiply by any, and we're going to say multiple, oopsies, forgot my I, any multiple of 10, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to find the basic fact. So look back over here. Notice how I have 3 times 1 is underlined. I didn't underline my 10. I looked for that first digit. That is my basic fact, the 3 times 1. And notice how that's my basic fact in all 3 of these questions. Okay, so that's my underlined. Find my basic fact. Then it says count the zeros in the, and we're going to say problem. And so when I look over here, I count that there's 1 0 over here. So I'm going to count the zeros in the problem, and then I will write the same amount of zeros in the answer. So that's our trick. I have 1 0 in my problem, and I have 1 0 in my answer. I have 2 zeros in my problem. I have 2 zeros in my answer. So let's use our little trick here, friends, and let's work on this next set of problems. Get this, whoops, there we go, so it's not so blurry. All right, look here. I have 9 times 10. So I found my basic fact, which was 9 times 1. And 9 times 1 is 9. So I write that answer. I'm going to count the zeros in the problem, 1. And that's how many I write in my answer, 1. How about we try again? 9 times 1 is basic fact is 9. There are 2 zeros in my problem, so there should be 2 zeros in my answer. I want you to think ahead. 9 times 1, if you said, is 9. With 3 zeros, you are correct with 9,000. Don't forget your comma. All right, let's try a few more. This time, notice that instead of 10, I have 20. But friends, I use my same steps. I'm going to find the basic fact, and I underlined it for you, 3 times 2. Now I know that basic fact, 3 times 2 is 6. 1 0 in my problem, 1 0 in my answer. Okay, basic fact, 3 times 2 is 6 again. There are 2 zeros in my problem, so I should have 2 zeros in my answer. My answer is 600. 3 times 2,000, my basic fact I recognize is 3 times 2 equals 6. There are 3 zeros in my problem, so I should have 3 zeros in my answer. All right, let's keep working. 9 times 20. Well, my basic fact tells me 9 times 2, and that is 18. And then 1 0 in my problem, 1 0 in my answer. I think you're catching on to our pattern, 4th graders. You're doing great. 9 times 2 is my basic fact, which we already know is 18. There are 2 zeros in my problem, so I need to stick on 2 zeros in my answer. Now I also need a comma. 1, 2, 3, whee. Okay, 9 times 2,000. I recognize my basic fact of 9 times 2 is 18. There are 3 zeros in the problem, so I need to add 3 zeros in my answer. And my answer is 18,000. All right, let's come over here and check out just these sample problems. Here's our steps again. So we have 6 times 300. All right, so my basic fact is my step 1. So I'm going to underline my basic fact. 6 times 3, and I know 6 times 3 equals 18. Now my next step is to count the zeros in the problem. There are 1, 2 zeros. So I write the same amount in my answer, 1, 2, and now I need a comma. 1,800. All right, let's do this one. 8 times 500. I'm going to find my basic fact, which is 8 times 5. All right, don't let this one fool you. 8 times 5 equals, if you said 40, you are correct. Now, I still see 2 zeros in the problem, so I need to write that same amount. Even though there's already 1, I need to write 2 more in my answer. And I add my comma for 4,000. 6 times 4,000, I identify my basic fact. 6 times 4 is 24. There are 3 zeros in my problem. That means I need 3 zeros in my answer to get 24,000. And our last one, 9 times 6,000. My basic fact is 9 times 6. And I'm going to think for a minute. 9 times 6, if you said, is 54. And there are 3 zeros in my problem, so that means 3 zeros in my answer. 4th graders, you did a great job today. Don't forget to hop on, add a picture to Seesaw of your notes for your teacher. Nice job.